You wouldn't build a house without a foundation, so don't build your business without one. This is Mindset Monday, where we lay out the tools, frameworks, and mindset you need to scale your contracting or trading business today. All right, what is going on? Happy Monday. Get this camera all set up. Happy Monday. Let me raise this thing. There we go. It's all about the machine, right? Machines are taking over. Apparently they're a little smarter than we are, including myself. My name is Gerritt Bake. I am the founder of Build Pro, and we are here for Mindset Monday in conjunction with our good friends over at Contractor Plus. Now, you guys know the drill. If you're here live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name in the chat, and we'll give you the good old shout out. Ooh, Rachel. Rachel's up first today. NSP Construction out of Inwood, West Virginia. Welcome. Hey, my good friend, Adam King. Thanks, man. Yeah, I got my, actually, I should probably put these on the screen. So there you go. There's Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. My good buddy, Adam King. Haircut looks great. Thanks, man. I'm trying to do what I can while I still got a little bit left. We'll see. Again, if you're here with us live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name, and we'll give you the good old shout out. Man, I am so excited today. And here's why. I spent the better part of the last 3 months retooling what it is that we're doing, but more importantly, how it is that we're doing it. What does that mean? Well, I want you to think like a contractor, right? I'm a contractor like you, right? And so what is my job? My job is to go get people's attention, i.e. market. My job is to convert that attention into jobs, i.e. sales. And then my job is to finish or complete the work that I was contracted to do, right? Operations. And on the surface, that sounds very simple, right? I just need some attention. I need some sales. And then I need to go do the work that I said I was going to do. Except that in real life, it becomes a little more complicated, right? And what we've been doing the last 3 months is figuring out a way to simplify our business model, not just with Build Pro, but also with our commercial company, right? And we looked at it from a couple of different lenses, right? Number one was the user, the end user, the people who are experiencing Build Pro. We also looked at it through the lens of efficiency on our end. Are we having too many people trying to do too many things? Okay. And it's led to some really, really good conversations, but ultimately a new and improved product, if you will. Now, you won't necessarily notice it too much on the back end. You will notice it on some of the marketing materials, right? But ultimately what we're doing is trying to put out a better product out there, which you should be doing as well. Again, if you're with us live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name, and we'll give you the good old shout out. We got Julie with Burton's, the plumbers in pink. Hello again, Julie. We had our contractor workshop this weekend. It was 2 days, Friday, Saturday, full days. We had quite a few different contractors. I think we had 30 in total that showed up, and spent a couple of days getting clear on their business, getting some insights, having some conversations, but ultimately having a clear game plan on what they're going to do the next quarter. We had a couple of folks come and share their experiences with us. One of them, his name is Jeff Dumas, who is becoming a good friend of mine. Jeff generated $36 million in revenue last year. I had to pause for dramatic effect. $36 million in revenue, right? Now, how much would you pay to sit in the room with a contractor doing $36 million a year and be able to pick his brain? And that's what everyone who showed up at our last workshop this last weekend was able to do for 2 hours, right? Now, I will tell you there was some aha moments, there were some insights, but ultimately, again, information for the sake of information is worthless. What we really want is information that we can use in our business that's then going to translate into more business, right? Now, let's get back to what I was talking about. One of the things that we realized is there is a gap between where you are and where you want to go. Now, for some of you, that gap is small. I just need one more hire, or I just need 10 more leads, right? But for most of you, it's a big gap. Now, last year, I had the privilege of hiking the Grand Canyon. If you've never been to the Grand Canyon, I highly, highly recommend you go. It is a phenomenon unlike anything else on earth, right? But when you're there in person, you realize just how big the canyon is. When I hiked it, I realized just how deep and big the canyon is. In fact, one way, so we hiked from the south rim down to the bottom, Colorado River, then back up to the north side. One way is about 25 miles. It's intense, right? We did that within 24 hours. Story for a different day. But what I'm trying to tell you is there is a gap, right? There's a gap between where you are and where you want to be. Whether you acknowledge it or not, your mind is wired to try and bridge that gap. So let's say you have a gap with leads, for example, right? What is your mind constantly trying to do? I need more leads. I need more leads. I need more leads. Well, it's not the needing more leads. It's bridging the gap from I don't have enough leads to I've got enough leads, right? Bridging the gap. And so what we realized is we don't talk about bridging that gap enough. We don't. And we said, all right, we need to do a better job of bridging this gap. So hence the growth gap was created, right? Now, what is the growth gap? And that's really what I want to talk to you guys about today. I want to talk to you about the growth gap, but more importantly, how it is that the growth gap is going to lead you to a more profitable and better functioning business. Okay. So let's go through the 5 areas of the growth gap. Number one, excuse me. Number one, and the most important thing is for you to understand that you're not broken. There is nothing wrong with you right now simply because your business isn't running the way you want it to. Right? We are in the middle of it just like you. We have SOPs, but we have an employee that we just haven't been able to lock in his roles and responsibilities and getting the work done the way we want it to get done. And we're in the middle of it, like literally deciding, okay, what are we going to do here? Okay. So you're always going to be in the middle of it, and there's nothing wrong with you. That's part of business. We have a client that's doing 5 million this year. Sent me a text message this morning. One line, I need a new sales manager, right? At 5 million, you're like, man, I got things figured out. No. So you're always going to be dealing with these things. So there's nothing wrong with you. Okay. So that's the first thing that I want you to understand. Now, when it comes to the growth gap, here's the most important thing to wrap your head around, and really the biggest thing that'll hold you back. You are the bottleneck. You're the bottleneck, right? Every decision, every issue with your team or your guys, every customer complaint runs through you. It runs through you, right? I always like to tell people, if you took off a week tomorrow, what would happen to the business? What would happen? And for most people, it wouldn't be pretty, right? Now, why is this so hard to fix? Here's why. Again, there's nothing wrong with you. You just built it this way. When it's just you, or it's you and a guy, or you and a couple guys, it needs to run that way, right? Being involved in every decision makes sense at that level. It worked, right? But the problem is, what worked at 200,000 doesn't work at 800,000. What works at 500,000 doesn't work at 1 million. What works at 1 million doesn't work at 5 million, right? There is a gap. So there's these habits that you created in the business are the very thing that are keeping you from growing, right? So I want you guys, I'll give Jesse from Jesse James Outlaw Electric, Grantsville, Utah. Welcome to the show. I want you guys to take a second and think about this. Where inside of all of my business am I still the biggest bottleneck? Right? Write it down in the comments. I'm curious from your perspective, where is it that you're still the biggest bottleneck? For me, I'm still the biggest bottleneck because every opportunity, every RFP, every bid request comes through me. I'm the bottleneck. If I'm not at the office, if I'm not near my computer, if I'm busy doing something else, that bid doesn't go through. Now we're actively working on fixing that, but that's just where we're at right now. Okay. I am the biggest bottleneck. So how is it that you fix it? Well, I'm going to give you a very simple framework that you can use. Ready? It's called the decision framework. I know, complicated, right? You're going to have 3 buckets. The first bucket is what your team can handle completely on their own. They don't need your input on anything. The second bucket is what needs your input before they do anything. And the third bucket is this is your decision to make alone. That's it. Okay. So your job is to separate out all of those activities into 3 different buckets. Okay. You're going to have to write them down. Okay. But write them down. Then you need to go through this with your team, answer any questions that they may have and get it right. Okay. But this is where most owners struggle. You have to let it go. Your team's on the same page. You're on the same page. If it's a decision that you want them to make, you have to let them make it. Okay. But I will tell you this, the contractors that we work with that implement this system within 30 days, the number of calls and texts that they get are cut in half by more than 50%. Think about that for a minute. Okay. Problem number 2, revenue looks good. Profit, wah, 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 no bueno. See, you're busy and you're getting jobs done, but the bank account doesn't reflect it. And you're not completely sure where the money went. Here's what's usually happening. See, most contractors price based on a rough estimate of their costs, right? And that estimate, it's pretty optimistic. Here's my expenses, labor, materials, and then we tack on a little bit more for profit, and off we go. Except most of the time, jobs run long, materials cost more, and change orders that are supposed to get submitted and approved don't. And because nobody's comparing what you estimated to what the job actually cost, that profit disappears. So what's the fix? You need to start job costing. Now, I'm going to explain a very simple way to job cost. Okay. This can get really complicated, but we're just going to keep it simple today. All right. What can you do? After every job, I want you to compare 2 numbers, only 2 numbers, your estimated labor hours versus your actual hours. Now, if you do that for 10 jobs, you're going to start to see a pattern. Most contractors find 15 to 20% of their estimated margin is disappearing in labor overruns that nobody checked. Let's put an example out there. Let's say you're at 800,000 and you're targeting a 30% gross margin. That's $40,000 to $50,000 a year going out the back door. Job costing makes it visible. And once it's visible, it's a math problem. And as much as you and I may not like math, math problems are fixable. So start job costing. All right. Number 3, your team problems are actually system problems. Well, what do I mean? Think about this. How many times has Johnny called you about a solution to the same problem over and over and over again? You're like, is this deja vu? Johnny, I told you how to do this last week. Yeah, but I forgot. Right? And so you're having to resolve the problems. Okay. You feel like you hired the same person 3 times, a different name. The problem is not the people. The problem is that doing it right hasn't been clearly defined. So when we talk about what someone is expected to do, it doesn't live in your mind. It doesn't live in your mouth where you speak it to them. The expectations can't live in your head, and your employees can't keep guessing at it. That's when they fall short, right? This lack of communication, this lack of clarity. So the fix is clear roles and responsibility for every position that you have, whether it's a general laborer or an apprentice, a journeyman, a supervisor, a foreman, whatever it is. You need to write down 3 things: what that person is responsible for every single week, how it is that you expect them to do it, and what to do if they run into problems. That's it, right? When people know exactly what they own and what success looks like, performance, I should say, goes up, and the turnover, which we don't ever want to have to deal with, goes down. Problem 4, your pipeline. It's unpredictable. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Some months you're turning away work. Other months you're like, is this thing working? Did I pay my phone bill? Right? Because it doesn't seem to ring anymore. And so you feel like you're not doing enough marketing. So you throw money at ads, or you post more on Instagram, or you try, oh, Johnny's trying that, I should try that too, right? Nothing sticks, because the real problem isn't that you're not doing enough. It's that you don't have a marketing system. And without one, you're guessing, just like everybody else. What does a real marketing system start with? The answers to 3 questions. Who, what, and where. We call them the 3 M's. Okay. The first thing you have to do is define your ideal customer, right? We call it the market. The more specific, the better. I deal with homeowners who live in this geographical area, who do about 250,000 to 500,000 a year, who are dealing with these 3 problems, have kids, blah, 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 whatever the thing is. And you get super detailed. Why? Because that leads us to the second one, which is, what are you telling them? If you're out there saying, hey, we'll give you a free roof inspection. Well, you and the 2,000 other roofers are doing exactly the same thing, right? Your goal is to differentiate yourself. And if you understand your market, you understand their problems. Somebody may need their roof replaced, but the reason why is what matters. So if you can dig down and go, the problem they need their roof replaced is because they're raising their family. And this is the single biggest investment they'll ever make. And their family is what matters most to them. Now you have a message that is different than everybody else. Third, this is about the system. Where are they, or who has access to them? For some of you, your people are online. Great. Google business profile. You need to be doing SEO. You might want to run ads on Google or Facebook. Like, they're online. Okay. For some of you, they're not. Especially if you're in the commercial or the government space, posting online isn't going to do anything for you. You need to go out and, as I like to say, shake some hands, kiss some babies. You need to get out there and meet with people. A commercial property owner with 20 buildings, guess what? That might come through a relationship, through a real estate agent, right? So your job is to put yourself in a place where either you are directly into contact with the people that you want to do work with, or someone who's already collected them will introduce you to them, right? Stop randomly guessing or saying, oh, well, they're doing it, I should be doing it too. If you want to donate money to a charity. It'll at least go to a good cause. And the last problem, I call this the routine problem. If I was to ask you what time you wake up in the morning, what would you tell me? When the alarm goes off? After 5, snoozes? Whenever my body wakes up? Like, what is your time? And if you don't have a routine in the morning, that means the rest of your day doesn't have a routine either. So the bottleneck, the money walking out the back door, the team structure, the pipeline, everything centers around no consistent routine. The week runs you versus you running the week. I harp with our group, and we got a couple of clients in this call. I harp with them. The data, the numbers. If you don't have data and you're not using that data to make decisions, you're just winging it, right? And eventually just winging it will wear you out. So here's my invitation to each of you. Take these 5 problems, figure out which one is the biggest issue for you, the biggest roadblock for you, and let's figure out how to do something about it. Whether it's the bottleneck, the money walking out the back door, your team structure, your pipeline, or no weekly routine. All of these problems center around you. And yes, there is a gap there, okay? But there's a gap there because where you're at right now, the stage that you've reached requires a different level of thinking and a different level of doing. If you haven't figured it out yet, that's what we do here at Build Pro. If you're curious, you want a free business breakdown, we'd love to give one to you. You guys can go to our website, buildpro.io, and register for one of those. Now, before we start to wrap things up, we got a couple things going here for Contractor Plus. So you can rank in the top 3 of Google Maps without paying an SEO agency thousands of dollars a month. How? Contractor Plus Local. If you haven't checked this out, you need to. They have a 25% off launch special. It ends tomorrow. So you need to do this, okay? If you look in the chat, you'll see this. Here's the link, right? Understand, especially for you that are trying to get found online, right? If we're talking about ranking in the top 3, it doesn't happen by chance. It doesn't happen by chance, right? You need a strategy behind it, okay? You need a team behind it. And that's what Contractor Plus has created with Contractor Plus Local. So look at the link in the comments, smash that link, and go sign up to get ranked in the top 3 of Google. You know you need it. It's time to do it. All right. That's all we got for you guys today. It's time to get after it. 3, 2, 1. Off you go.